Nearly 30% of mortgage holders didn't expect a rate rise. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.Heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee. Let's have a look at this article from the Property Tribune. Because when I saw people sharing this in Twitter, I frankly thought it was rubbish. I didn't think people could be that naive, but then again, perhaps they are. Perhaps they trusted our Reserve Bank governor when he said rates are not going to go up until 2024, or rates, exclamation, or what is it, rates star or superscript notation won't go up with all these criteria that I'm not going to mention. And the media just focused on that. People were making life-changing financial decisions, taking on huge amounts of risk and responsibility based on that. So they're going to do it tough. There's going to be a hit to our retail and discretionary spending. People are going to learn that the last 30 years of good times may get a bit patchy for some people. So mortgage anxiety impacting 3 in 4 Australian households. So let me know in the chats if you're anxious about your mortgage, everyone. Because, I guess I would be anxious if my mortgage was significantly higher than it is. So, 30% of respondents admitted that avoiding a default on their home loan is a major consideration. Well, it should be a consideration for everyone. No one wants to get a default. I guess this is where they're at risk of it. 38% of respondents only budgeted for a cash rate of 3% or less. Okay, that's not too bad. That's kind of realistic. Aussie has provided 7 tips to avoid mortgage stress, and this was a survey done by Aussie. Home loan and mortgage broker Aussie has conducted new research, which has found many Australian mortgage holders are hurtling towards mortgage anxiety. 30% admitted that avoiding a default on their home loan is a major consideration. 75% said they were unsure how the cash rate increase will impact their household budget, which has resulted in them searching for clarity. Okay, that's fine. You've got to do that. Almost 3 in 10, 28%, did not believe the cash rate would increase when budgeting for their home loan. 3 in 10, 30% of mortgage holders. So it's not all Australians. It's people who've managed to get a mortgage, didn't think the cash rate would go up. Now, that's the cash rate. See that straight line there where I haven't had to update my chart for months of creating content? That's insanely low. I guess if your lived memory is only of the cash rate going down, you can't blame someone for perhaps thinking, it's not going to go up, she'll be right. But then there were many of us, myself included, who saw that insanely low cash rate, who were aware of the statements from our Reserve Bank governor that there's no point going negative. Even though they were pushing the banks to explore that option, the actual benefit of it from the economy and savings, it doesn't really work. And that's why a lot of people locked in. A lot more than normal. Australians usually like their variable rates. Well, of course we do, because we've only known rates going down, haven't we? So, for those of us who have been following the news, probably more than other people, and following the statements from the Reserve Bank and following the cash rate, it may be a little surprising that people can get in a situation where they don't think it's going to go up. Because that's the only place it could go. I mean, even if the cash rate didn't go up, even if it didn't go up until 2024, it's still going to go up eventually. Well, you're thinking you just somehow increase your income in those 4 years, maybe, or 2 years. So, another 4 in 10, 38% only budgeted for a cash rate of 3% or less. And yeah, I can appreciate that. While increased cost of living pressures, or with increased cost of living pressures, there's no doubt this is a stressful time for many Australians, particularly mortgage holders, said Karen Sorrenti, State Broking Manager at Aussie. a staggering number of mortgage holders have not taken action or investigated their alternative options, which is one key factor in addressing the mental and emotional strain. So our latest research shows almost 1 in 5, 18% with mortgages are dealing with significant mortgage stress. And a further 4 in 5, 81% confirm the rising cash rate and upward cost of living is a growing reality, placing unwanted tension on their household. Now, rates for some banks, we've got ING cut rates today. We've got a video coming out about that. BOQ cut rates. I think Bank West have cut rates. They're starting to inch down some of their rates. So there is some speculation that the RBA may have moved too hard too fast. But you need to prepare for this, guys. There's going to be talk of a mortgage cliff, of people getting off their insanely low rates and being stung with big mortgage repayments increases, like 40%, 50%. But how many of the people that are doing that are prepared for it? And financial problems, it's the main cause of relationship issues. So it's vital to set boundaries and manage financial well-being, experts say. While borrowers are encouraged to look at refinance options, Jane Monica Jones, a leading financial therapist and author on the subject, said, there are many more ways to manage household financial stress. Well, hit the gym every day, guys. I mean, that's when I was going through significant stress. This is when we had to have a complete spending freeze on our money. Like, I told Rachel to not spend a penny, nothing. I started working out every day. And that's when you know you've got a good wife, if she puts up with you through all of that. I'm thinking, well, if I'm going to be poor and broke, I'll just get healthy. So it's a good stress relief. I'd encourage anyone concerned with mortgage-related stress to work on their financial literacy. Reach out to experts to learn more about what options are available to support their individual circumstances and be proactive to improve their financial well-being and resiliency, said Miss Monica Jones. Yeah, that's some very good advice there. Over recent years, more Australians have understood the role that mortgage brokers play in helping navigate the home finance market, enabling them to secure the best finance that suits their needs. In light of this, Aussie has provided 7 ways for a household to avoid mortgage stress. Okay, let's have a shot of coffee and then go through these 7 ways. So number 1, stop, look and ask. Always know your current rate. If it's fixed, ensure you know when it ends. Yep, that's good. Be aware of when your current rate ends. I was quite fortunate. I got 4 years, so I got 2 years left until I get a bump in my interest rate again. And when I was variable, I would do micro payments. So every time I found $5 or $10 or $20, I'd start chucking it off the mortgage. Just chucking it off every single time. It's a bank account. You can just transfer more money there. And there's no limit to how much you can pay off it when it's variable. Part of the reason why we locked in was so I would stop doing that, because otherwise, between you and me, I would have just attacked, and I think Rachel knew this, I would have just attacked the mortgage and not done any of our renovations on the house and just kept living in the rundown place. Oh, she'll be fine. But yeah, that's dangerous. But yeah, and what I would do is every time I'd get a little bit off, I would reduce my weekly payments to the absolute minimum. So I got $1 less weekly. Awesome. And it just was a feel-good factor. So if you've avoided financial literacy, now is the time to learn. It's the gateway to managing or ideally avoiding mortgage stress. Yes, I would recommend looking at David Ramsey's videos. They're quite good, particularly about people conquering debt. They can be quite inspiring. It's like watching... I'm watching gym workout videos now to inspire me. That's the people in the debt-free scream is the financial literacy version of watching someone changing their life. There's a Kiwi guy who did 100 push-ups a day for a month. Just seeing that. So I'd recommend Ramsey and his debt-free screams. The Barefoot Investor, he's good as well. He's got systems that are quite Australian-based, and I like his strategy for using a card to have, a splurge account, so you can waste money and play money. 3, do some calculations. Be a step ahead on what you can afford for repayments. Yeah, you've got to be aware. You've got to know where it's coming from. 4, practice a mindful money approach, paying attention to your overall financial position. One thing we do, it's a bit different for us because we're a small business. So we're used to money coming, not consistently in big chunks. The most consistent money flow that we've had in the last few years has been YouTube, because it's just Google just appears every month. So that's a nice little bonus. But Rachel forecasts out a year. So she forecasts out our, when we're getting money coming in, what expenses we have. I mean, today I just spent, $1,300 for a subscription for BIM Collaborate, so I can use my software in the cloud. And, that's a yearly expense. So if she'll track that in, put that in a big master Excel and project what our tax bill is going to be at the end of the year, so we know what's coming. And it's not 100% accurate. It doesn't need to be, but it just needs to give us a ballpark figure for where we're going with our expenses and, income. Have I met revenue this month, or am I a bit low, or am I much higher? That's kind of how you need to look at it, particularly if it's a small business. So it's a little different. If you're doing it individually, you just need to sit down and even get the Excel and do the same. Track where every dollar goes. Kind of find where stuff's leaking. Refinance to a home loan with low or zero fees. You should always be looking at options there. Take advantage of cashback refinance offers. I've heard some stories where people have played one bank off the other and gotten good money. Because if you're like an A-class client, low risk, like a doctor with a huge bloody loan, and you're pretty much set for government employment, they're going to fight for you. Make them fight for you. Play one off the other. And consider an offset account, which reduces the amount you pay in interest. It's a good option too. That's where we had one of those, and I think we had offset and redraw. That's what we did. So I just kept chucking more on there. So guys, there we go. Let's have a talk about this. I hope the best outcome for all of this can be that Australia becomes a financial literacy powerhouse. We all turn into barefoot investors and Dave Ramsey and just conquer the world with our financial literacy. What do you reckon? I mean, through tough times, that's often what you need to go through to learn. So there could be a silver lining to this cloud of despair and doom that we're constantly seeing in the media. This could be the best thing that happened to some people. May feel like shit going through it, but coming out the other end, they may finally get control of their lives, and stress that they've been living with, not quite knowing what's going on with their finances, will disappear. So what do you reckon? Thank you for watching. Let me know your thoughts, opinions, and suggestions on this one. Are you a fan of the 7 suggestions Aussie put forward? I think they're pretty reasonable. If you want to help us out, check out our other channels, HeiseBim and HeiseSays International, for other similar content that I create. And if you want to support the channel, you can via YouTube or Patreon. Use our referral links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or AussieBroadband. Buy a Pocket Squares or call us if you need an architect. Take care, everyone. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next episode of HeiseSays. Bye for now.